friends, Dave Paulides, Can-Am Missing Project, copyrighted edition for our video channel. Thank you for being here. And this may be the last Truckers show. This is Truckers number 15. Yes, I'm tagging you along, but trust me, you're going to want to watch this. And you're going to want to pay close attention. It's another spoke in the wheel, let's say, what I'm going to give you. And this took a lot of work to prepare. We worked over the holidays. We got people angry because we went with our families. This was a big one. And when we got into this, when we get into something really deep, you can't hold us back. And I was kind of jazzed to find these because it made the whole topic more compelling to me. So, this took 5 cases, and there's 5 cases on this video. I'm going to give it to you like this because it's the only way I could lay this out so that you could understand it in one big sit down. So, put this on pause, grab a cup of coffee, hot cocoa, almond croissant, bear claw, whatever, and put your feet up, relax. Your mind is going to get bent. The first story involves a man, a German, by the name of Roy Beetelman, 30 years old, went missing August 9th, 1938. His first occupation was an organist at silent movies. And then when sound came into the movies, he lost his job. But that was okay because he was a smart guy. And he went to work at a factory that made radiator valves. And he resided in a place called Catasauqua, Pennsylvania. He was married and had 3 young kids. He was 30 years old. Now, on August 9th, he left for work at the factory just like he always did. And that night he didn't return. And his wife called him in as a missing person. This had never happened before. Freaked the family out. Didn't know what to do. Turned their lives upside down. He was the only breadwinner in the family, so they definitely needed his income. Now, some parts of the article stated that he didn't like working in the factory. He was upset that he lost his job as a professional organist. And what happens next is a mind blower. 10 days later, August 19th, 1938, 1,016 miles west of Catasauqua, Pennsylvania. This is what he said. He said, I found myself sitting in the grass and found I couldn't recognize anything. I looked at the horizon and there weren't any mountains, so I started walking. Imagine that uncomfortable feeling. You look around, there's no mountains. Where are you? He'd never traveled any further than Indiana in his life. So he walked into the closest town. And what is the closest town? Yeah, if you're a follower of the Truckers video, hold on to your hats. Waterloo, Iowa. This is where he disappeared from in Pennsylvania. This is the route. 1,016 miles to Waterloo, Iowa. Now, if you followed Missing 411 much, this route takes you by some locations that have had umpteen people disappear. And they're all around the Great Lakes. Yes, the Great Lakes, folks. I can't say this enough, but When I started doing research into missing people, I said that I could write a book about just the state of Pennsylvania and the number of disappearances there. All kinds. Very, very weird. Add another one. So he walks into Waterloo, Iowa. He saw a police officer standing at the corner. The police officer's name was Max Bredow. And he asked Max, "Where am I?" He says, "Sir, you're in Waterloo, Iowa." And the police officer said, "Where are you from?" And he said he was from Bethlehem, PA. Well, he had used to live in Bethlehem many years before, but he didn't live there now. Well, the officer knew that Roy was deeply troubled, had no accurate memory, didn't know where he was. So he called what would be today's social services. And they had Roy transported to Black Hawk County Hospital to be examined. Told the police officer he had no idea how he even got to Iowa, didn't know what date it was, didn't know where he was, period. A physician examining Roy stated that he was badly sunburned on his face and on his bald head. Roy told him, "Yeah, I don't like wearing hats, so it's possible." Well, after a while, they determined who Roy was, and they contacted Lehigh County in Allentown, PA, and asked for social services and that he could be transferred to their town. Roy said he didn't remember if he was married or if he had kids. Yeah. A pretty freaking unbelievable story. And to me, the unbelievable part is where he ended up, over 1,000 miles away. He was missing for 10 days. He woke up in the grass outside of a city, badly sunburned. So my question is, how long was he laying in the grass before he woke up? This was August, so that would have been my first question. Because if you lay there all day, you're going to get sunburned. Giddy up. So that's case number 1. Pennsylvania case. Happened August 9th, 1938. Next case. 7 days earlier. Also in Pennsylvania. August 2nd, 1938. A man named Roy Pachette, unknown age, went missing August 2nd, 38. He lived in Bethlehem, PA. Yes, that's where Roy Beetleman lived. This is also where Roy Pachette lived. Beetleman used to live there, didn't live there now. Now, Pachette's address was in Bethlehem, and his occupation was a bread truck driver. On August 2nd, he left for work. The truck and him disappeared. They did find the truck the next day, August 3rd, in a place called Harmony Grove, Pennsylvania. The police knew something seriously was wrong because this is in the middle of nowhere. So they committed significant researches searching for 2 days and found nothing. So 2 days later, August 5th at 8 p.m., Roy is wandering the woods outside of Carlisle Pike, just aimlessly walking through the woods. And he's seen by 2 farm boys. And he walks up to him and he says, "I don't know where I'm at. Can you help me?" They say, "Sure." He says, "Can you take me to a town?" And they said, "Well, no, but we can take you to York, where we can find somebody to drive you." Now, his truck is found here in Harmony Grove, middle of nowhere. He's found 22 miles north in a place called Carlisle Pike. There's nothing in this area, even today. Nothing in this area, even today. Now back then in the 30s, late 30s, it was even more remote. How his truck got here, he didn't know. How he got here, he didn't know. Now, 7 days between the two disappearances, between Beetleman and Pachette. Beetleman disappeared from Catasauqua on August 9th. 94 miles west, Pachette had disappeared on August 2nd. Friends, come on. Come on. 2 Pennsylvania cases, 7 days apart. Confirmed amnesia cases. Come on. This is unbelievable. Unbelievable. Pachette said he had no memory of leaving the truck or how he got to the location where he was at. Both men lived at one time, either currently or prior, in Bethlehem. If you've been following Missing 411 a while, I've told you before that where a person lives is important. I don't understand it. I can't tell you why, but I have an idea. I think the idea is that somebody is monitoring some locations in this world, and they follow these people once they move. They stay with them. Both men were amnesia victims. Both men had missing time. And both men were named Roy. 7 days apart. I don't know what to make of it. I do know that I couldn't ignore this and not put this in this video. It had to be addressed. So, for what it's worth, next case involves a man named Lloyd Fox. Went missing March 10th, 1952 in Colorado. Now, Lloyd was an Air Force veteran from World War II, 33 years old. So we have Beetleman at 30. Pachette, we don't know his age. Now we have a man missing at 33 from Colorado. Married, has 3 children. He was a mortician. And he was driving a Chevy Coupe with a 2-wheel trailer that he was pulling behind it. Now they lived in Laramie, Wyoming. And he drove his wife and 3 kids down to Denver to stay with family while he had to make a drive to Pueblo, Colorado, south of Colorado Springs, to drop off some office furniture at a new office. Now he made the delivery and he was confirmed heading north back to Denver along I-25. I-25 being the main corridor north-south through Colorado. I will tell you that the area around Pueblo, Colorado, pretty lonely out there. But then as you get through Colorado Springs, it gets very urban. After you leave the Springs again, it's very rural. Well, he made the trip. He was supposed to pick up the family on the 10th. They didn't hear from him. His wife puts and calls the police and reports him missing. Now, the police put out an APB, all points bulletin out for a car in the trailer. And they also called Laramie just in case. And then they put it out all over the state of Colorado. Yeah, this is huge, folks. This is huge. Now, I'm going to ask you to do something for me. Pull up your Google Maps, Laramie, Wyoming. Please do that. I'll wait. Now, he went missing on March 10th. March 12th. His car and trailer are found abandoned 2 miles south of Laramie, in the middle of nowhere. Snow had fallen in the area, and all the tracks that would have been around the car are not there. Car's on the side of the road. They have quite a conundrum because they had bad weather and they had no tracks. He wasn't at home. Wife hadn't heard from him. Nobody knew. Okay, you got that map pulled up, right? Now, if you look just to the west of Laramie, what do you find? You find some mountain ranges and the Medicine Bow National Forest. A center point for Missing 411, the UFO connection. Yes, if you watch that movie, you know where I'm going. And to the east, southeast of Laramie, you have Cheyenne, Wyoming. And you have an Air Force base where they reported UFOs hovering over missile silos. The Air Force reported it, and I reported it in Missing 411 UFO connection. Well, son of a gun! Wait a minute, Dave. You're telling me that this guy disappears between the Medicine Bow National Forest, where all these people have disappeared, and Laramie, Wyoming, where the UFOs were hovering, and in Medicine Bow, where a hunter said he was abducted by aliens. Oh my gosh. Another spoke in the wheel? I'm just saying. March 14th, 1952. Lloyd calls his wife from a Los Angeles hotel. He says, honey, I'm told I'm in Los Angeles. I have no idea how I got here. Pay attention, I have a heck of a bad headache. Giddy up. How many people have suffered this fate who have said they have a bad headache? Ka-ching. He wasn't in a good condition. March 15th. Mrs. Fox flew from Denver to Los Angeles to pick up her husband. They didn't want any publicity, but it was said that the reunion was very good. He was very pleased to see his wife, and he had no memory. I can't make this stuff up, friends. I can't make it up. Now, Lloyd disappeared March 10th, 1952. March 10th, 1952. 22 days later, April 1st, 1952, Charles Wagner, 40 years old, residing in Pennsylvania again. Oh my gosh. Yeah, Bellevue, Pennsylvania. Truck driver for a food plant distribution company. Workers said they saw him dazed and confused. He vanished that day. Nobody knew when, nobody saw him, he just gone. Wife reported him missing, April 1st, 1952. A couple days later, he makes a call to his wife from Columbus, Ohio. Wife is talking to him on the phone, and the police had the phone traced in case this was a kidnapping case. This is what they were thinking. They say, keep him on the phone. They trace it to Columbus, Ohio. They trace it to a location, and they have Columbus police go out and meet him. So they walk up on him as he's on the phone talking to his wife. He said he had no memory since April 1st. He said he had no idea how he got to Columbus, Ohio. He said he was walking a street in downtown Columbus when he started to have his memory back. And that's how he was able to call his wife. Let me stop that for a second. Many of these people have memory recovery. Different people, it takes different lengths of time. But now some of the people we've covered here have been missing for over a week. Don't know where they're at. What's going on in their life during that week? Where are they? What's happening to them? Those are all the big questions that none of them could answer. Now, a lot of you ask, Dave, these more recent cases, say in the 2000s, why don't you go out and talk to these people? This is a traumatic experience, folks. There's trauma involved. The vast majority of these people want nothing to do with recovering that memory. Now, when we first got into this, Missing 411, we contacted some of the missing persons groups out there in the world and said, hey, what are the biggest no-nos in your investigative world? And they said, well, what's your plans? I said, well, I'm going to write about the cases in a book. They said, well, don't approach the victims and ask them to relive their story to you, because you're just going to victimize them again. And they won't like it, especially if they see their name in print later. Now, if they come to you and they want to talk to you about it, that's great. Talk to them. But don't be that first person to go out there and start questioning them. And that practice has worked very well with us. And while it may answer some of the questions in your investigative mind, it will not help the victims to relive this in many cases. What if they relive something that is just so horrific in appearance, in time, what they probed or prodded, that you could never shake that later in life? I've thought about that. That'd be horrific. So that was Charles Wagner, April 1st, 1952. So we have Lloyd Fox, March 10th, 52. Charles Wagner, April 1st, 52. And now we have Charles Floor, unknown age, missing June 24th, 1952. He resided in New York City. Police found him lying on railroad tracks on the Central Railroad Depot near Johnson Avenue in New Jersey, Jersey City, New Jersey. He was in extremely critical condition. They searched him and they found a Social Security card in his pocket. How weird is that? How many people even carry a Social Security card? I don't. Well, they were able to track him down that he lived in New York, and he'd been missing for several days. And they contacted his relatives in New York City, and they said, yeah, he has to be an amnesia victim. This was stated clearly several times. So they took him to the hospital, and the physician said that he had serious injuries from a fall. We just rounded the bases on Missing 411, the UFO connection. I just hit first, second, third, and a home run in this segment. Come on, folks. Now, many of you think I'm trying to push my movie so I'll make more money. No. That movie explains everything I'm telling you. And I know a lot of you out there believe, oh, it's got to be Dogman. Oh, it's got to be Bigfoot. Not everything out there is Dogman or Bigfoot. Okay? I'm sorry. I've gone through this with several very close associates, and we talked about all these facts. And we're just staring. We're like some of these people. We're just staring out in the space going, I can't believe how all of this just fits together like a glove. Many, many months ago, I told you before that when I've made movies, it almost seems as though someone is leading me by the nose to where I need to go to find something. I haven't said this in a long time. Today, these 5 cases, I feel like somebody just downloaded them to us and said, hey, pay attention to these. That's how important they are. I've never heard another researcher talk about amnesia, missing people, missing time, great distance between where they were lost and where they were found. I don't hear about this. Oh, you're going to hear a lot about it in the future from all these people who copy my work. But I'm saying I've never heard of it. And even though the Missing Truckers series, by its name, means missing truckers, how could I, in a right frame of mind, ignore the cases I just talked to you? Especially the case south of Laramie. It is almost right in the middle between Medicine Bow National Forest and Cheyenne, Wyoming. Now, I've told you, my movies, Missing 411, Missing 411, The UFO Connection, and Missing 411, The Hunted, are going to be back up and available online in a couple weeks. Now, you can still go buy them from our store. Our online address is NA, like North America, nabigfootsearch.com. DVDs are available. Blu-rays are available. I'm not sure what to do about this. And I'll read your comments and I'll be interested to see what you want to say. And that is, should we keep going down this rabbit hole on people with amnesia, distance traveled, loss of time, bad sunburns? That bad sunburn, how long was that man laying in that grass, unconscious? Many times, in the abduction circles of UFO, people are found with their clothes on backwards, underwear on backwards, shoes and socks on oddly, shoes on the wrong feet. Now, unfortunately, UFOs really weren't part of the world when a lot of these events happened. And even though the victim may have understood that these things happened to him, I don't think they wanted to report it. Even just saying that you have amnesia and you're found 1,000 miles away, I think it would have been a hard pill to swallow for many in law enforcement even then. Today it may even be harder. I got a letter just the other day from a police officer in Los Angeles. He said, Dave, you've opened my eyes to missing people and missing people investigations. I've got a few years left in my career. I'm going to apply for a transfer to missing persons. Thanks. We need all the good investigators we can get in missing people. And he said, I'll look at it in an entirely different way. That just made my heart grow. Thank you guys and ladies out there in law enforcement who are watching. I sometimes think that I'm a lone gun here, just someone up there is giving me the download and I'm just trying to give you the correct information. You are very much appreciated. And if you haven't watched the Missing 411, the UFO Connection, this movie, I'm sorry. And much of this, what I just told you today, will not make sense. If you have watched it, you're having an epiphany moment. So, maybe you might want to sit down and watch it again. Bring your friends and family, and I would be eternally grateful if you would share this video with your friends and family. So, go out, do something kind for the neighbors, your city. Soup kitchen. I've told you before, Ben and I and Angie have worked in soup kitchens together. It's such a rewarding experience. People appreciate it. Do something kind. Paulides out.